Hi guys, very good evening. So I think in the previous class we were discussing about your Power BI experience in your Microsoft Fabric platform. So in today's class we will we'll discuss about your Azure Data Factory experience. Okay. See, basically, what is this Azure Data Factory experience? Basically, it is a cloud-based ETL platform. I can say it's a data integration platform from your Microsoft. Okay, so basically, this we call it as ADF. Okay, so this Azure Data Factory or ADF is typically used to move data from different sizes and shapes from multiple sources to one lake data hub or to your lake house or to your warehouse. For example, basically, if you want to move huge amount of data, okay, so large amount of data from different sources, okay, of different sizes and different dimensions, okay, then we use your ADF, okay, so in order to do this activity. So basically it's a cloud based ETL. What is ETL here? It's a extraction, transformation, loading, basically. So that is, we can develop or create some data pipelines. Okay, so data pipelines, I can define these data pipelines as a workflow. It's a set of activities, a group of activities which form certain workflows. Okay, so what is this workflow? How we can extract the data from different sources, and how we transform the data, and how we load the data. Fine. Okay. So this is the main what you call definition of your Azure Data Factory. It is a part of your Microsoft Azure ecosystem. Okay. So meanwhile, when we proceed, we learn a number of things in your Microsoft ecosystem. But in today's class, we'll dedicate our complete time to your Azure Data Factory. Fine. Okay. So uh, basically, if you want to be a successful, hope you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, Ritwik.
Yeah, thank you. So if you want to be a successful data scientist or a data analyst or a data engineer, you need to have hands-on experience in exploring this ADF basically. Okay, so basically as a ADF, as a data scientist, you should be able to design and develop certain data pipelines or data workflows. Okay, so in your previous classes, if you remember, we created some workflows, okay, data flows, like for example data flow gen 2, right? So why we use data flow gen 2? Basically to convert your JSON file to your tables, delta tables, right? So these are all workflows basically. Fine. Here also in your Azure Data Factory, for example, if you see this architecture of ADF, this is nothing but the ADF architecture. ADF is nothing but your Azure Data Factory. Okay, so basically we can get your data, okay, from your what you call Azure cloud, okay, to your local system, on premises system. It can be your lake house, or it can be your SQL, it can be your files, whatever may be basically. Okay, the main purpose of Azure is to get your data, okay, from different sources and load your data to your premises. Okay, fine, and to build your data pipelines. So this is how your data factory. It looks like your factory where you have a lot of pipelines. They're all data pipelines. Okay, interconnect with each other, different sources, different transformations involved, and basically you are directing the data. Once the data is ready, you are storing the data in your factory, which is one day. Okay, fine. A very simple, diagrammatical representation of your Azure Data Factory. So basically, in this class, we need to understand certain terminology called what is Azure Blob. Okay, see, basically, Azure Blob is a cloud-based object storage service. Okay, see, it is a basically, I can say it is a cloud-based storage object. Okay, so from your concept of your Microsoft Azure, which allows the users to store and manage large amount of unstructured data or data sets. See, basically, if you want to store and manage your large amount of unstructured data sets, we use your Azure Blob. In a simple words, it's a cloud storage. That's it, right? Specifically used to store large amount of unstructured data sets. Right? So this is basically terminology what we use in your ADF in today's class. Okay, in developing certain data pipelines. Then what is this Parquet file? Parquet file, basically this is one of the column oriented data storage format. Okay, so and it is open source and it is free. So basically the data is stored, if you want to handle large and complex data, okay, so and if you and then we need to store the data in this format, which is called as Parquet file. So basically, once we store the data in this Spark file, okay, we can convert the data, this data into your delta tables by writing certain Spark definitions or Spark, what you call languages, okay. We write some scripting in your Spark, okay, PySpark, all these things. We create some notebooks, okay, all these things. This we'll discuss in future classes, not in your ADF. So, but in ADF, we often deal with that like this, ParQ files also. Fine. So that is the reason why I should be able to understand. Whenever I'm creating a pipeline, I may discuss about this ParQ file. So at this time, you should not think what is this basically. It's a file format. That's it. Fine. It's a to handle certain complex data sets. Fine. Then how basically your data pipelines look like? See, the main fundamental concept in your ADF, that is your Azure Data Factory, is to creating your data pipelines. Okay, so why to create your data pipelines? How to create your data pipelines? How your data pipelines look like this? Okay, so they look like this basically. Like so, as I told you, like we are getting the data from your Azure block. Okay, so we are creating. These are all different activities. Okay, in your data pipeline. Okay, if you consider the complete this as a set of data pipeline, these are all different activities what we have. Okay, in your Azure in our data pipeline. Basically, your data pipeline is a set of activities. It's an interconnection of activities, okay, combined to each other in order to form certain workflow. Fine. So these are all different activities: copying data, transformation, loading the data into a SQL server. All these are activities where we can interconnect to each other, and we can start creating certain data flow or workflow. Okay, this is nothing but your data pipelines. Right. So basically, as a data scientist, you should be able to understand the basic concepts of how to create your data pipelines and how to schedule your data pipelines, how to run your data pipelines, all these things. Yeah. So basically, these are all different, like copying data, transformation data, these are all different activities, what we'll be discussing in practically. So this is a very practical definition of your Azure Data Factory, very simple practical, theoretical definition of your Azure Data Factory and pipeline. Let us see how to create these basically, like how to create these in real time. Okay. Right. So let us get into your, Microsoft Fabric. So this is your Fabric. So I'm in home page now. Basically, in the previous class, we explored about your Power BI, which is a big concept. Data of today's class will explore about your experience called Data Factory. Okay. So if you see here, basically, like solve complex data ingestion, transformation, and scenarios using cloud scale data movement and data. Basically, this is mainly used for data transformation activities, building your data pipelines. That's it. The main use is this actually. Fine. You can click on this, or you can get into your Microsoft Fabric. I can click on your data factory. So when you click on your data factory, so these are the recommended items to create. So already we created your basically like data flow gen 2, right? In the previous classes we unknowingly created your data flow gen 2. That is one of the component of your data factory, which is used to convert your data, that is JSON format file, to your delta table. So like this we can create your data pipelines. Okay, so all these are different main two different main two things are main thing what you can create is your data pipelines. That's it. Okay, that is the main objective of your data factory. Fine. So let us create a data pipeline. This is one of the way you can go to the data factory and create a data pipeline. See, as a data engineer also, I can go to the data engineer and also I can create your data pipeline. Okay, see here also I can create a data pipeline. Only that you can create a Spark definition language, which is used for data transformation technology. We create notebooks and write some Spark programming. Okay, so that we'll discuss in the next classes. Okay, but today's class is completely dedicated. Okay, for the data pipelines. Fine. Another way of creating, you can get into your basically workspace. Okay, Fabric workspace. Fine. So directly you can click on new element, okay, and here itself you can click on your data pipeline. See here, you can schedule your data pipeline. Basically, just let me create your data pipeline. Okay, so just click on data pipeline. Okay, here itself you can create. Okay, fine. So this is it is asking to create your data pipeline in Microsoft Fabric workspace. Okay, so just let me uh, create sales data pipeline. Okay, Okay, so let me check. Hope it is not repeated. Yeah, it's not repeated. So now you are in basically Azure Data Factory or data engineering mode. See, Azure Data Factory works on the top of data engineering. There is no difference in the look and feel, everything. Now you are in Data Factory itself. Even though you are in your data engineering experience, still you are in Data Factory. Got it? Okay. So basically, now this is your look and feel or a front end. Basically appearance of how to create your data pipelines. Basically, what is the step by step activities we need to follow to create your data pipelines. See, as I told you, your data pipelines is all group of activities. Here you are able to see something called activities, right? Click on these activities. Okay, these are all different activities. Okay, so where you can create. See, the first activity is your copy data. Okay, one activity. If you want to copy the data from source to the destination directly, you can create one activity. Another activity is a data flow. If you want to create some data flows, for example, you want to involve in data transformation. Okay, before loading the data to the destination, you can create your data flows. If you want to write some what you call Spark or any programming language like Python, or use your pandas, a number of things basically to create your notebooks. Okay, but however, we won't discuss in today's class these things. Okay, so then get metadata, lookup, script, all these are basically different data vertical activities, data bricks. Okay, all these are different data activities. What I can add to your data pipeline. So data activities, these activities are nothing but different components in your pipelines, which are interconnected to each other in order to form one workflow, not form one workflow. So let us just create one very simple workflow. Okay, just so what I do now, so just I will try to add, see, when pipeline activity. So you want to add a pipeline activity, you can click here, or directly these are all activities. You can just click on copy data, you can click on use copy assistance. Anything is same. If you click here also same, you click here also same. Let me click here. Okay, so anything is same. So I'll show you now. You are getting a what you call the proper guided format how to create your pipeline, how to add your activity to the pipeline basically. Okay, so basically these are the steps. It is helping you, which will help you how to add an activity to the pipeline. So just I'll close this. So for your information, just I'll close this. Okay, just cancel. Now what I'll do, I'll go to copy data. See, this is copy data is one of the activity or one of the component in your data pipeline. Hope you are able to understand what I'm telling, right? So data pipeline is nothing but it is a group of activities. Okay. See here, these are all different activities. Okay. So one activity is the copy activity where you copy the data from one file, one source, and it will transform the data to other source or load the data to other source. Okay. Now see, if you see here, it is copying the data from CSV file, it is loading the data to the SQL server. Okay. So that is nothing but your copy activity. Very simple. Okay. So copy is one of the activity in your data pipeline. Like this, we have many activities. Now what we are doing, we are creating the activity called copy. That's it. So it will, don't worry, it will become very clear for you once I create your data pipeline. Initially, it will be a bit confusing for you, but once I create your data pipeline, it's very pretty easy. Okay, you can start developing your own data pipelines. Fine. Just now, instead of clicking here, I'll also click here, use copy assistance. The same thing you will get. Fine, both are same basically. Fine. So, or there is another, basically there is, if you click on this, basically like just it's vanished. Okay, well, let me get here only. Let me use. Now see here, basically what is the first step in creating this activity called copy data? Choose your data source. Okay. See from which data source you want to extract the data. See, basically I can say this, data pipelines, what you call replicate this, what you call concept of ETL, right? See what is called replication, it is same as that of your like ETL. It's not an ETL, but same as that of your ETL where we extract the data from a particular source, we involve in transformation, then we load the data into a destination. Fine. So now we are basically extracting the data from a particular source. Just select your source. So what is the source? So basically, just I'll click on view more. Okay, I'll go to your Azure. So basically now I want to collect the data from your Azure blobs. See, these are different Azure components: Azure file, Azure SQL database, Azure Data Explorer, Azure Tables, all we discuss in step-by-step classes whenever we are discussing about different components. But here in this class, basically, I'll be using your Azure blobs. Basically, these Azure blobs are the cloud-based storage technologies where I can store lot of unstructured data. Where I can store lot of unstructured data. Just you need to have certain credentials that I can share to your we will upload that in your drive where you can use that credential. See, already I have a credential for Azure Block where you have URL. See, basically it is an Azure server. Okay, it's a cloud-based server where you need to have a URL, you need to have a connection, all these things. Okay, you need to connect your data source. So already I do have that connection. We created one simple connection, okay, for you, where I can show just you know uh, just so this is my simple connection where I can copy this URL. Okay, this is the URL where I can connect to my Azure. I created one account in your Azure, blob. So I use this connection directly. You can also create your own connection in a free account. So get it to your Azure blob, just get it to there. So it's very easy. Now see here, automatically it is just showing the anonymous. Just click on next. Click on next. Okay. So when you click on next, basically it will ask you the path. Basically, you need to give proper path for your data. You need to locate your data.
बुआ
The data is in your Azure.
पनीर
Hello? Yes? Any queries, please? So now see here, basically it is telling that it is you have given the connection path, but it is not unable to search the files in your Azure cloud, basically. So basically we have something called as container. So see, please, I'm using I created one container in your Azure cloud called sample data. I'll copy this and I'll paste this here. Then slash then path. What is that? File path. So here I have my tables actually. Here I have my tables. Okay, fine. File path. I can use anything, parquet files or table files. So let me use your parquet files. What I maybe okay. So let me use this basically dimension customer or let me use this tables. Okay, fine. So click on retry. Click on retry. Fine. Now your data factory, basically your fabric, will try to connect your Azure cloud and see here, this is the data what they have. Okay. So all these are, if you see here, these are all in parquet format. Parquet format actually. That is the reason why I told you what is that actually. See, parquet format is nothing but one of the type of the format of your data file where you can store complex and huge amount of large data sets in a what you call particular format. Okay, this is nothing but a parquet format. Okay, just you can preview this format. See, we have three tables in your Azure cloud. One is your dimension city, one is your dimension customer city. Sorry, one your another is your facts table, fact sales table. Okay, so these are parquet format. It's look like the same table, but it is different kind of format where I can store complex data. Fine. Okay, so you can select. Just I'll be selecting your facts sales table where I have huge amount of data, around 50 million records I do have. Okay, so basically, like let me select because of that huge data, let me select fact sales parquet file. So this is your data basically. Okay, however, you are not able to see the complete data here. It is having only 10 data, preview. So click on next now. So see, from these, from where these files are coming, basically from your Azure cloud. Okay, or we call it as Azure blob basically. Fine, it's a container where it is stored huge unstructured data. Okay, so these are the files. Because it is unstructured, the most of the unstructured data will be stored in the form of parquet file format. Okay, so I connected your fabric to your Azure. Okay, how I'm able to connect? By creating a activity in your data pipeline. So this is the first process of creating your data pipeline. So I'm adding the first activity called copy activity to your data pipeline. Now I'm in the process of creating your data pipeline. That's it. Fine. So just click on next. Click on next. Now it is asking choose destination. So basically, what is the activity of copy activity? Copy activity is very simple. Just it will copy the data from the source. It will load the data to your destination. That's it. Okay. So where you want to store this data? You want to store this data to the lake house, basically. Fine. See, now already we have a number of already we have lake houses, all these things. Just you can click on this lake house, or you can just click on view more. You can select your what is called others. You can select your what is called you can uh, you can select your all. Okay, so Azure. Okay, so if you want to connect, if you want to come to your database, you can connect. Power platforms, dataverse. We discuss about your dataverse in future classes. Online services, okay, and number of things basically. Okay, so to where you want to basically get into basically. Okay, so I want to get into a data one lake data hub. So in your one lake data hub, we have I want to load your I want to connect your Azure what do you call that to your one lake data hub. I want to copy the files from the Azure cloud, and I want to directly load to your one lake data hub. So already we created these lake houses, right? So let me create any one of the lake house. Let me select Apshala lake house. So now see here, basically, I have choose the destination. Now connect to the destination. So now you want to load a new table, or you want to load the existing table. I want to create a new table, fax table sales called Azure, okay, or ADF. I say it's a ADF basically, okay, or Azure blob. So I say from Azure blob. So basically this table is created from the Azure blob. Okay, fine. Now you can just select all these things. You can match the data type, sales key, all these things. There's a new table destination files, these whole tables, all these things. Okay, it's meaningful basically. Okay, fine. So this is how we need to choose your destination. Okay, so you can choose any destination whichever you are interested, only that you should have certain credentials. Fine, just click next, click next. Now see here, it is giving a copy summary. What is that copy summary? It is telling that, see boss, you are creating one activity where you are copying the data from parquet file format to the Microsoft Lakehouse. Okay, so this is basically one kind of workflow I created, or data flow I created, where it copy the data from your Azure and directly dump, create one table in your Microsoft Lakehouse. Okay, now just you want to run this basically, you created one activity now. Okay, just you need to run that, save and run that activity. Just click on save and run. Click on save and run. Okay, now see here, an activity has created. Now just wait for some time. Okay, it is running. Now see here, it is running. Okay, so just you can observe here. Now see here, it is queued actually. Now what is the status of your activity? It is queued. It will take some time. Okay, you can see the duration, how much time it will take to run this activity. Basically, it is in progress. It is in progress. 16 seconds has been over. Okay, so basically you can increase this performance. 21 seconds. It is taking 21 seconds because we have a lot of 50 million data. It is taking more time actually. Fine. That's the reason why beta k to take this sales data 31 seconds. Okay, it will take some time basically. Fine. So this is how now it is succeeded. So it has taken 32 seconds to load 50 million records of data from your Azure cloud. Okay, so see basically what this activity is doing. So we are loading the data from your Azure cloud. Okay, so this is your Azure cloud. Okay, then we are dumping the data to your lake house. Okay, which is in your one lake. Okay, fine. So basically this is the main work of this activity called copy data activity. Like this we can create a number of activities in your data pipeline. Okay, and we can integrate these and we can do the things. Okay, fine. Yeah, just a minute. So now see here, you have created one activity in your data pipeline. Now let us get into your what you call lake house and see whether the table has been successfully created or not. What is the table? New table what we created? So it's a sales table from your Azure, right? So just get into your Fabric workspace. Okay. So now let us explore your Fabric workspace. Okay. So now see here, sales data pipeline as a new pipeline is created actually. It is created, so whatever the data pipelines you create in Azure Data Factory, it is stored as one of the component, fabric component in your one lake. Okay. So now let us get into your one lake directly. Okay. So get into your lakehouse, Apsara lakehouse, and let us check whether you got, see here you are getting unidentified. Initially you get unidentified, just click on these tables and refresh so that it will extract the data. Now it is, now see here it is updated. Now see here, you are able to see your new file that is created with the help of your Azure blob. Okay, how this new table is created, how this new table is created inside your lake house with the help of your data pipeline. How you created your data pipeline? By adding an activity called copy activity. Okay, so copy activity is an activity, one of the component in your data pipeline in your ADF, which will extract the data from any one source and load the data, direct load the data without any transformations, load the data to your any lake house or any other source. Fine. So this is this is how we need to create your data pipelines and what you call explore. Just you can click on this. So this is the data. Now no more it is a parquet file. Okay, it is basically a delta table again. So basically this is, previously we created, if you remember, we created one data pipeline called, new data flow gen 2, right? It is a data flow basically. Why we created? Basically to convert your JSON file to the what you call table, delta table, right? Okay, so similarly here also, if you want to convert your parquet file, which are parquet files are stored in a data format in your Azure, how the unstructured data will be stored in your Azure in the form of parquet format. So convert, take the data, extract the data, convert the data into your data tables by creating certain data pipelines. By creating certain activities in your data pipelines, we are successful in creating this data. Any queries till now?
Ritvik, so in the Power BI, so just we can have the 80 plus source data to export the data, right? From
Yes.
that also we can export the same table. So
Yes.
what is makes difference here, Azure and Power BI? So get the data.
See, Azure is one of the data source where your
Hmm.
Power BI basically can connect your Azure and you can get the data. But what if, for example, as you told, your Power BI not only depends upon Azure, right? Okay. See, that's what happens now. You ask a right question. That is the reason why. See, whatever you are asked, that there is some disadvantage that, for example, maybe your Power BI can connect to 80 plus data sources, but those 80 plus data sources are from different vendors. They are not integrated to each other. Now you see here, when I open your Power BI, okay, desktop, okay, so the 80 plus data sources, they are floating in the air, they are not integrated basically. Okay, so you need to connect to those 80 plus data sources separately. Okay, not as a unity basically, but here in your fabric it's not like that. So there is integration is there in your one lake data hub. In one lake data hub, all these data sources are integrated to each other. Okay, so whenever there is certain kind of connectivity or integration, obviously the data flow will be seamless, right? Okay, it's very easy for you to coordinate the projects. Now see here, when you click on your blank report, now click on get data, so click on more. Okay, so all these are data
Hmm.
sources. These are all, see, different data sources from different vendors. Okay,
Okay.
they don't have common place called one lake. Okay, they don't have common place. Okay, for example, if you want to if you want to connect your Power BI to your SQL server, you can connect. But okay, you can't, again, if you want to connect your access database, you need to connect separately. Again, there is no
Hmm.
connection between these two. Again, if you want to copy the data basically from access database to a SQL database, you can't create your shortcuts. There is no facility. You need to copy the data redundantly, right? Okay, these are all the
Hmm.
disadvantages in your Power BI if you use your Power BI directly without using your fabric. That is the reason why we always use your Power BI experience along with your fabric, not independently. Hope you understood, right? Yeah.
Okay, so these are the data will be stored in workspace, you mean to say, in not in one lake. If I export the data from the
Yeah, you need to,
Parquet file.
again, that's what, individually you need to connect, individually you need to create, connect in workspace,
Hmm.
again you need to integrate, manually you should do. Everything
Mm-hmm.
manually you should do. Okay.
Okay.
But if
Okay.
you run your workspace, basically, if you run your Power BI in your One Lake or Fabric experience, it's not like that. So basically, like your One Lake Data Hub is basically all-in-one integrated tool. You have many vendors integrated together, right? So you're not worry about regarding integrations or a number of. Yeah. For example, you see Azure is there. For example, when we are creating what you call pipeline now, okay, so this is a pipeline. So what we did here, okay, so we using we tried to create an activity called copy data activity. Okay, so what happened here, we try to integrate or basically your Azure with the data lake. So your Azure is in the same platform, your data lake is in the same platform. What is that? Azure platform, sorry, it's a Fabric platform. Okay, so it's there in your Fabric itself, which Azure is also there in your Fabric. Okay, your lake house you are storing in your Fabric itself. They are at one place. Okay, when they're at one place, we can integrate very seamlessly, right? Okay, so that's an advantage of your Fabric compared to that. You can do that in separate. See, this you can do separately, in Azure also. Fine. In data engineering, you can use the same thing. The data engineering will do by using different tools, not on Fabric. Okay, but individually you can do. Fine. Not integrated. Like again, that is a disadvantage. What you are telling. Yeah.
But in the Fabric, we have the Power BI as well. From that as well, we
Yes.
cannot perform this activity.
Yes, we can do. That's right.
Okay.
We can. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is how we created. See, this is only one component. Okay, what we created till now. Okay. See, now basically just we need to understand, how we can add another component. There are a number of components which we'll validate step by step. Okay, so just click on activities now. Now see, we loaded the data to your lakehouse. We created one table called fact sales table, uh, which we extracted the data from your Azure cloud. Okay, so by creating a data pipeline. Now let us add some components, some more activities or components to your data pipeline. So how to add? Just click on activities. Now I'm trying to add a new activity called data flow. Okay, just click on data flow. Right. So now see here, a new activity is added. Okay, see what is this data flow? See, let me give the name of the data flow. Like, okay, so what you called data transformation. Okay, data transformation for sales. Okay, so basically I give a meaningful name for this. Okay, from data transformation to ADF source. Okay, so basically, or we can say like this, transformation to ADF source data. What is the meaning of that? So we extracted the data from the ADF source and we loaded that into a lake house. Now we are trying to involve some data transformation activities, okay, in that. Okay, so basically, now we need to basically, it is nothing but the role of your data scientist, right? So he extracts the raw data. Basically he will try to involve in some data transformation activities, basically. Okay, so how that is, this is how he is going to try to involve in data transfer. Actually in the Power BI, straight away you open your Power Query and did like that, tuck, tuck. It's not like that in real time. Basically you create some data flows, okay. So this is a data flow name where I involved in transformation. Okay, so just just I'm giving the name. Okay, so now just go to the settings, okay, fine. So now just this is only uh, basically where is the data flow you created in your Fabric. Okay, just refresh it before using. Okay, now basically you didn't, basically I don't have, I won't use all these data flows because I need to create one new data flow. Okay, these are all the old data flows what is present in my workspace, but I don't want all these data flows. I want to create my own data flow. Okay, just click on new, so when I click on new, now see here a new data flow will be created. Okay, because we added a, what is this data flow? It's nothing but your data flow component in your data pipeline. So the name of the data flow is data flow 6, or you can change your okay, so transform. Okay, so Azure sales data. So that is the name of the data flow. Okay, so basically use some meaningful names. Now see here, as usual, it has triggered your Power Query. Okay, so this look and feel already witnessed when you are creating your new gen data flow SRO. Okay, so where we triggered your Power Query, now we can involve in data transformations. Now the same procedure, click on get data. click on more. Okay, now we need to extract. Now see here, this is your data hub. Okay, so see now for your question, what Krishna has added, this same Power Query, if you are using in your Power BI, this is not the basically this is not the facility what we get, right? So we need to create, we need to connect to separate sources individually, but here it's not like that. We have your Excel server, everything, Dataverse, many things are there. Now everything are there in a one lake data hub. Fine, that is the main advantage. Now click on your basically fabric. We have lake houses already where our new table was there, right? So just click on next. Click on next. Okay. Click on next. Now where is my new table? It's my fabric workspace Apshala. Now in my new fabric Apshala, I have my Apshala lake house. Just select your Apshala lake house. Now here you have your tables called fact sales Azure blob. SRO. This is my new table which I created with the help of your Azure data, right? So we created one data flow component called copy data. We extract the data from your Azure cloud. We created one new data table called fact sales Azure blob. So this is resided in my lakehouse. Now for this, I need to do certain transformations. For that, what I did, I added a new component called data flow, and I'm configuring that component. Now just click on create, click on create, click on create. Now see here, basically, now you are preparing your data for the transformation. Now I loaded my data to the Power Query editor. Basically, now I can just change my names or whatever, maybe I can change the data type. Okay, so I can involve in any transformations. Okay, whatever I want. Okay, so just or else I can change the name or I can do some activities. Okay, so I can add a new column. So let me add a new column, for example, quantity into unit price. So just get it to a transform. Okay, so or add a column, we can create a custom column. Okay, so what is the new column? Total price, something, like a total, what you call price. Okay, so simply I'm adding something, like now for total price, what I'll do, I'll unit price into, okay, so into just into quantity. Okay, quantity, that's it. So what is the data type? It may be a decimal, right? Click on okay, click on okay. Suppose if it is correct, this is not your DAX expression, right? Very simple DAX expressions. Yes, now you got your total price calculated column. So now I added a new calculated column to your what you call delta table that is stored in your lake house. Okay, so now that is I'm successfully involved in transformations. Okay, transformations. Now I want to uh, upload this transformed data to the uh, uh, to the lake house in the same destination or warehouse. So see, I have now what I did, I have involved in transforming the data that is present in the lake house. Now if you see, we knowingly or unknowingly we created one what you call data pipeline. So now what we did basically, so we had a Azure what you called ADF Azure here, Azure cloud. We had an Azure cloud. Okay, so we had a sales data. We have a sales data here. Okay, so we loaded into your what you call lake house. Okay, so as a sales table, now we are involving in transformation. We're involving in transformation. Okay, what kind of transformation? We added this total price. Now we can once we transform the data, this comes under your ETL. This is extraction data, then transforming the data, then load the data. You can load to your okay data warehouse, okay, or to your what you call the lake house or to your cloud, whichever you want. You can load the data. Right? Okay, so this is how basically you can involve in your transformations, right? So just give me some time. Now see here, you are able to see something called as destination. There is no destination basically where you want to load. There is no destination. You need to select your destination where you want to load the data after your transformation. Just click on data destination. You can load your data to lakehouse, warehouse, Azure, SQL, everything. Only see that whenever you are playing with your Azures and all, okay, you should have the proper credentials and create some proper credentials. Already we have credentials in your lake house. Just you can click on your lake house. Okay, So now see here, already we have a lake house. Be careful, one thing here, when you are creating your data pipeline, your lake house and the data pipeline should be in the same workspace. Okay, if it is not in the same workspace, this basically you will get an error here. Basically, it can't identify that. Be careful. Okay, so it will throw an error basically. So just click on next. Click on next. So it is connected to your lake houses. Again, we have in your lake house, we have fabric workspace. So okay, so just click on your fabric workspace. Now let me what do you call it, give a new as a target or final. Basically the final. So here I'm creating a new delta table called fact sales Azure drop final, and I'm again restoring in your what you called Apshala, what you call fabric workspace. Now instead of storing in your lake house, Apshala lake house, I'll store this in your Apshala shortcuts. Okay, it is a different lake house, right? So where you have only shortcuts, let me store this. Like this, I can vary basically. I can store the data wherever I can because it's a pipeline basically. Fine, what I'm creating. Just click on next. Click on next. Fine. Now see here, just it is just searching for destination, select all, save settings, everything. If you want to change numbers, you can change the numbers. Okay. Now for this, what is the transformation? You have a total price. This is a new column added actually. So where basically, like we are loading the new column, transform the data to your different lake house. Okay. Fine. If you observe one thing, we extracted the data from the Azure cloud. Okay. Then we loaded the data. Okay, to the lake house, to one that is Apshala lake house. Okay, now we are involved in transforming the data by creating data pipelines, okay, or data flows. The transformed data we are loading in another lake house called Apshala shortcuts lake house, right? So like this, you can create some meaningful data pipelines and schedule it, run it as you want based on your necessity. Right? Click on save settings. Click on save settings. Click on save settings. That's it. Okay, now basically click on publish. Now see here, just you can see this in diagram mode also. Just you can click on this diagram mode. You can go to this public also. See here, this is a destination. I added a destination. These are all the different steps. What is involved in the diagram. This is a destination. Okay, lake house. Lake house. I'm going to store the data in the lake house shortcuts. Fine. What is the table with which it gets stored? The final table is fact, sales, Azure, all these things. If you want, again, you can update the model if you want. You can replace. Fine. So click on publish. Click on publish. Or you want to publish now itself or publish later? I want to publish now itself. Okay, just click on publish. It's getting published. It will take some time to publish your workspace. So what is the name of your workspace, please? Anyone? So you see the name of your workspace here. Now you are able to get something here. Yeah, this is your name of the workspace. It is circulating. So transform Azure sales. This is the name of your data flow. Data flow what way? Data flow is one of the component in your data pipeline. This data flow, okay, this copy data, notebooks, all these are different components in your data pipelines. Like this in future, okay, it's updating. In 2 minutes it gets updated. Now you can open your new lakehouse, shortcuts lakehouse, and you can witness the data transformation activity. So like this we create in future classes, as we go on studying data warehousing, data sciences. Okay, so machine learning models, we create your data pipelines like that. We automate your predictive analytics, all this basically. Right? It's taking some time, just let us wait. Now, till now, we added a second component in your data pipeline. That's it. We didn't schedule or run your data pipeline. We are in the process of creating your data pipeline. So it is done. It is done. Okay, now get into your what you call lake house. Let me get into your lake house. Which lake house? Yeah, Lepshala with shortcuts. Now just you can refresh. You can also here immediately get unidentified. Don't worry about this. Click on tables, three dots. Click on refresh. So now see here, you got your finalized table. Okay, this table, okay, is from the data pipeline what you created. In order to get this final transformed table, we created a data pipeline. Yes or no? So that is nothing but your data pipelines in your Azure Data Factory. So Azure Data Factories are basically, they are used to create a complex and simple data pipelines where they can extract the data from n number of sources, okay, a complex unstructured data, okay, and they can involve, they transform the data, load the data into different sources. So this is your new transform data, fine. So this is how, okay, we can create your pipelines. Now let us get into your pipelines. Go to your Fabric workspace. Okay, so just get into your data pipeline. Yeah, this is your sales data pipeline. So yeah, now see here it has created. Okay, now we created a what you call data flow, which is a second component in your data pipeline. Okay, see, we have created two components now. uh, so you need to practice it once, okay, then only you get you won't get confused, otherwise you get confused here. Okay, so this is your first activity what I added in your data pipeline. Okay, this is your second activity what I added to your data pipelines. Like this, I can add your notebook also. What is this notebook? It's like your Jupyter notebook where I can write some PySpark programming, Python programming, all these things, lookups. These are also one kind of components. There are a number of components that I don't want to make it complex today's class, because you need to practice this. Then we can go for next components and make complex, okay, complex data pipelines. As of now, it is a very simple data pipeline, but this is you need to have some practice. Okay, so now see, we added two components, but we yet didn't create it. Didn't configure your data pipeline, right? So how to configure your data pipeline now? So basically, now what I do, I created this data flow. That is your second component. Now I will make your in your, just click on refresh. Okay, so select your data. So basically, uh, you know uh, where you created, basically, click on refresh, select your, now see here, this is your data flow, right? See, this is your data flow name, transformation to what you call transform Azure sales data. This is your data flow name where you need to select here. Okay, now select here and you can refresh. Now connect this first component. Okay, see, you need to connect this tick mark. What is this tick mark? So just let me see, you need to correct your tick mark. Okay, don't connect, don't select this on skip or what you called on fail or this. So whenever this step is successful, what is the step here? You are collecting the data, unstructured data from the Azure cloud, and you are loading to the lake house. Okay, you are loading to the lake house. Once this step is successful, once this step is successful, okay, then what I should do, I should trigger this data flow activity. I should trigger this data flow activity. Now see here, it is connected actually. Be careful, you need to select this tick mark only on success. If it is failed, it won't do anything. Suppose if it's failed, what you should do, you should tell basically. Fine. So if it is failed, I'll do something, I'll trigger some other thing. Okay, again I'll trigger some other what you call copy data sets, or some other message or email I will send, whatever may be basically. Okay, fine. So basically what I do, once this step gets success in your data pipeline, I am telling your data pipeline to trigger this data flow. Again, once this step is success, what should you do? Again, you should do something, right? Fine. Like this, you go on building your pipelines, you go on building your what do you call go on adding your activities in your pipelines. Okay, to build your Azure Data Factory pipeline. This is how we can create your pipeline. So now we created your pipeline. Basically, now we can run your pipeline or schedule your pipeline. Okay, so now, so just click on run pipeline or schedule. We will see what you call just we click on run pipeline. Okay, so now save and run. Okay, so now see here, your pipeline is getting run. It is trying to execute whatever the commands you are doing. Here you can check the activity, it is queued, it is now in queue stage. Okay, so basically it will take some time to run your pipeline and successfully do the job. Fine. So and you can basically schedule it also basically. Okay, fine. So this is how you can view the data. Just you can click on this copy. Okay, so and here you get exact data, what is happening in the background, basically how your data sets. Basically see here, for copy, this is from your Azure block storage you are transforming the data. Okay, this is for your copy. What this is doing actually, how much, see here, how much data it is reading now. It is read 38.835 KB. It read one file, rows 100 rows it is read, and it is loaded 100 rows. Okay, fine. So basically, basically this is the duration background. This is how, it has been this much queued, this much transformed. All this is data advanced. All this information you can get basically. Okay, fine. So similarly, okay, just let me get into this. We close this. Okay, fine. So let me close. So like this, you can get your information. This is one way. Now, basically, now this copy, this the first activity is done. Where basically the first activity has successfully executed, and you got this. Okay. Similarly, second activity. This is your first activity status. This is your second activity status. It also got successfully executed. Thus, we have only two activities in your data pipeline. This is completed together. We call it as a data pipeline. So what is the name of the data pipeline? Sales data pipeline. Okay. So now you can just view your data pipeline, status. What is your data pipeline status? Just click on your data pipeline status. Okay. So, and you can get the details. Fine. Okay. So same thing would have been done again. The same tables would have been created and updated actually. Like this, you can create a number of data. Now, this is one thing. If you want to click no more thing, you can click on view run history. Here also you can, still it is in this is in progress. Your data pattern is in progress. Click on move to monitor. So this is how you can monitor. Okay. So yeah, it still it is in progress. It is doing the things actually. So click on this. Okay. So it is doing the things here. Okay, so it is running. No, you can, this is a list mode actually. What you can see, you can see in the grunt mode also. Just you can select your grunt mode where first, on October 6th, from this time to this time, your first activity has been executed, and after this your second activity has been executed. Like this, if you have n number of activities, all your activities, information will be listed here, but you can monitor like this basically. Okay, if you want to update, you can click your update pipeline and go to your monitor app again backside. Right? Go to your back menu. Okay, again back. So you can get into your pipeline, sales data pipeline. This is how we can get into things, or directly get into here. You can create, click on here, you get it. So any questions here? Any questions till now? Any questions?
The first thing I just got to know, there is one question bit I'm not understanding. While we are copying the data, so how did you get that the link and container path and
Okay. So we need to create that actually. So we need to create. We need to get into your Azure data. What do you call that? Azure blog, Azure Data Factory, or Azure Data Blog. You need to create your link actually, right? So that I
Mm-hmm.
will explain you. That I will explain you when I'm taking
Okay.
Azure classes. It's a very pretty easy. See how you create your credentials for your Fabric and Microsoft Power BI like this. You need to create your you know link basically, right? Okay, right.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Basically, I'll
Okay.
be doing that. Just I'll be sharing all those details.
Mm.
Please check your chat windows. I'll be sharing on file so that you can practice after your class now itself. Okay.
Okay.
Right?
So okay. So this is the file is the structured data, right? Transformations to the ADF data file.
Yes, yes. That is unstructured
And,
data to the
and
structured data. Yeah.
structured. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. And for the data flow chain too, so only used for JSON files to convert the tables or any types of the files we
So,
can use.
so today we have introduced to PARQ file, right? PARQ file.
Park use.
That is one of the
Hmm.
files which is used to complex data sets, unstructured
Mm-hmm.
data sets, basically. Okay. So whenever you have a PARQ files, you can use your ADF. You can create your pipelines,
Hmm.
and you can start
Okay.
your
Okay.
PARQ files to the structured data set, basically, data tables.
Okay. Yeah.
Check your chat windows. Just I have shared you the copy activity. Basically, you can just use it. Yeah. Your Azure
Okay.
credentials. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Thank
straight
you.
away you can use it. Basically, you can just connect your. We are given the URL. Basically, it's a blob. You can also create your free account in Azure blob. Okay. So it is a basically cloud storage in your Azure actually. Okay. So this is your Azure. I mean, it's giving error. You need to get into your Azure and get into things, right? So
Mm.
uh, so this is how you need to create your data pipeline. See, like this, many activities I can include. Okay, so these are I can act. I can include a notebook. I can include a script, write your Python, and number of things, and number of activities. Okay, so basically invoke a pipelines. Okay, this is your office. This is your data Azure Databricks script. Okay, so stored processes. These are all basically like you can write some programs if conditions. Basically like whenever you're dealing with your notebook. Okay, so we write something called a script here. Okay, so again go to the procedure is same. Click on new. It go to the what you call what you call. We discuss about these notebooks and all in the next classes, and we try to write some scripts in your PySpark. Okay, so you can add the notes. You can add a number of what you call. See here, you are having PySpark, which is one of the Python library. Okay, you can use your Spark in Scala or Spark n number of languages you use here, but most famous language is PySpark. Okay, fine. Suppose if you are from big data background, yes, you can use the Scala. Okay, but it's not to worry about the coding here. Not to worry about that. It's very easy again. This coding part we write to. I'll introduce you to what is PySpark. I'll start from basics. Just we'll write some small programs for transformations. It's like your pandas basically. How can we transform the data and all these things, right? Okay, fine. So all these things you can do that. Hope you understood, right? Any
Yep.
questions, guys? So see, basically this is enough. This is about more. This is about. See, basically, there is another concept left over with your data pipelines. Basically, like performance of your data pipeline. See, sometimes what happens, your performance of your what you call data flows will be very slow because of huge amount of data. For when I go to some companies like Flipkart and all, they have huge amount of data. When you create your pipelines, at that time it will take days of time to process your data flows. At the time, what you do basically, we have a concept. So let me get into your what do you call the data pipeline. Click on your data sales pipeline. So let me just delete it. Let me just delete it. Okay, delete this. Okay, just uh, get into your data flow. Double click on it. Directly you get into your data flows. Okay, so click on your queries. So now see here, basically, right click on this. Here you are able to see something called as enable staging. Okay, so if it is disabled, basically, like there is one kind of performance. If it is enabled, there is one kind of performance. For example, click on this enable staging. Now see here. So how the format has been changed. Okay, so basically they can even disable this enable staging also. Okay, so now see here, now you have enabled the staging basically. So staging is one of the concept. Before you load your data to your lake house or your data warehouse, the actual data warehouse and data warehouse, we prepare certain temporary storage areas called staging. Okay, to improve the performance of your data flows. At the time it will take less time to do the things and all. Okay, so now we enable the staging. When you enable the staging, it comes into an italic format like this. Okay, so then we can publish it. Again, we can publish it. So so that like this, you can improve the performance of your data flows. Basically, you can improve the performance of your data flows. Okay, fine. So just click on publish. Now I publish later. Okay, just click on publish later. Oh, it's published. Fine, no problem. Fine. So this is how basically like just let me get into your workflow or your data pipeline. Okay, so you have recent runs. Click on recent runs. Now basically see here, it will show you the data, all these things. Click on go to monitor. Okay, so it will show you the time it has stated. Okay, 1 minute. So go back to your so this is our data flow what we created. Click on historical runs. Okay, so basically this is the time what it has taken. You can increase the time also. You can improve the time what it has been taken by controlling the staging process. Fine. So this is how you can basically improve the performance of your data pipelines, what you call running of your data pipelines, fine, executing of your data pipelines. Now, basically, you can schedule your data pipelines also. So just let me get into as a sales data set. Okay, just click on update your sales data set. Now, see here you have something called as schedules. Okay, just you can click on schedule data pipelines. Just you can click on your schedule, repeat by minute or hourly. Every 1 hour you can schedule. Okay, so just select your time today. I'm selecting at 6 o'clock. Okay, 6 8. Okay, then it should end by today itself or tomorrow, by this time basically. Okay, so now this is your time, Kolkata and Mumbai. Click on apply. That's it, scheduled actually. It's scheduled. Okay, so now automatically, even though you switch on your system, even though you log off from your fabric, it gets scheduled in the Microsoft server. Okay, you don't worry about that. Basically it gets scheduled and refresh and load the data to your destinations. Okay, so just click on that, then click on just view run history. Okay, now see here, basically go to your monitor. Now you can see all the things. Okay, so just click on refresh. Okay, so after some time you'll get the scheduled data also. Okay, historical dance. Yeah, let me see where is that scheduled data. Okay, so yeah. Now see here, one is I've already done. Basically, you can see something called scheduled, where I can see view run history, monitor. So here itself, I think it should come whichever you scheduled actually. So yeah, so you can basically once the schedule starts, it's approaching the nearing time. Basically, it will start your workflow and it will show you the workflow process. This is how you can schedule your data flows. Okay, in your data Azure Data Factory. Any questions till now?
The scheduled data is the one streaming data in real time.
Yeah,
Is that get updated,
yeah,
right?
yeah. It's a real time
Okay.
only. It's a real time.
Uh-huh. Okay. Hmm.
Most of the what you call most of the data pipelines will be scheduled actually real time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whatever the class today you have seen is a very simple data pipeline. We deal with very complex data pipelines, but fundamentally the concept is same.
Okay.
Okay. So fine.
What is the
Yeah, please.
output file? What is the output file of this Azure data one? So this is the one, right? We have published the two
Yes,
reports here.
yes. This is a basically uh,
Output.
what is the final output is it's stored in different lakehouse called lakehouse with shortcuts. In this is the final output.
Okay. So
Okay,
okay. So this file will be used for further analysis.
that's it. Okay,
Right.
you can
Okay.
just
Okay.
start. You can go to your SQL endpoint.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, a good point. Okay, just you can select this SQL endpoint. Okay, okay. And go to your SQL endpoints. You can start performing your analytics. Again,
Hmm.
here also you can create your reports and do a number of things.
Okay. Clear. Yeah.
And
Thanks.
let's see how many records are there in your final output. Okay,
Hmm.
taking some time. There is an internet issues also. You will get stuck actually. This is the main problem of your fabric because it's a cloud based, right? That's the reason.
Okay. Hmm.
Now see here, this is your okay. It is stored in your tables. So here I can
Hmm.
run some new queries. Okay, select top 10. Right. So
Hmm.
the query, I got this basically. I can explore this data. Okay,
Okay.
so I can visualize the results. Done. And do the things. Okay, and only that
Okay.
when you're visualizing, you need to select this basically. Control A. That is the main problem actually. You need to select all this, then click on visualizing notes. Continue. That's it. The ultimate, you can visualize the same thing once we go on learning your fabric. will try to learn your data science experience. Well, we use the same data to train your machine learning model.
Mm-hmm.
And visualize the results. See here, SQL
Okay.
query, this is your query, all these things, what you got. Okay, so basically
Okay.
you can visualize your data, right? That's the concept. So I can even write a very simple queries to run your, let me open your new query, select count of aspect from table. So 100 rows, it's having 100 rows.
Mm.
Like this, I can do a number of things, whatever I want. Okay,
Mm.
I can just uh, publish. I can export. Basically, I can do whatever the Power BI activities in the previous class. You can create your reports, how to create reports, and number of things. Okay, yeah. Again, I can reload this to Azure Data Factory. I can reload this to some other application, web applications, a number of things. Yeah. Right. So it looks a bit confusing initially, but believe me, it's very easy creating your data pipelines. Only that you should have some hands-on, and you know you should get some mistakes. You need to do some mistakes. Then only you learn
Mm.
actually. Okay. So try to just develop like this, simple pipelines by your own this weekend. Okay, so that we will get into your next Azure, basically next will start your next experience. Basically it's a big experience actually, maybe like real-time data analytics or data warehousing. Right, again I need around 3 hours of class, 2 to 3 hours of class next Saturday. So I'll be trying to finish your next kind of experience. So like this we'll try to finish step by step of here. So by the end, I promise you, basically you learn a number of things in your data science. Before getting into your data scientist, you can start working yourself. You can start working yourself as a senior data scientist. Okay, and I
Okay.
strongly recommend you to get certified. Basically, if you get certified, because this is a very latest certification, Azure, sorry, uh, Fabric, Fabric certification. So Fabric Analyticals Engineer Associate Certified. So it is very demand in outside world. Okay, straight away you can start working as a data scientist. Okay, with this certification. Fine. Okay. So it covers as my training basically. You can start working on lakehouse, implement a lakehouse, all these things, inject data, all these things basically. If you see the syllabus, I used to cover all these things basically. Fine.
Mm.
Keeping the examination point of view. Fine. So,
Okay.
so have some hands-on because this is about your Azure Data Factories, nothing more than that. Whatever you discuss about Azure Data Factory, only this actually. Only that we need to build some complex pipelines in future. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
discuss once we start remaining experiences, because we'll be building like these pipelines in your data warehouse experience, in your data engineering experience, in your data science experience, in real-time analytics experience, all these things, complex pipelines. At the time, it is very easy for you once you practice. If you lack of practice now, at that time you don't understand what you do. Yeah. So practice it. We'll see in the next class. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Fine, guys. See you. See you in
Yeah.
the catch you on
Thank you.
Monday at Sunday at 8 a.m. Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye.